They told you to stay calm, but they never taught you how. They said, don't overreact. While everything inside you burned, the walls were closing in, time felt like it was mocking you, and every second dragged 1,000 thoughts behind it. Panic isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers, it poisons your peace, drop by drop, and in those moments, calm feels like a myth, something reserved for saints or sociopaths. But what if calm isn't the absence of chaos? What if it's mastery within it? Let's begin where most people lose themselves. Expectation. You expect the job to work out. You expect people to be decent. You expect life to go according to plan. And when it doesn't, when things shatter, you fall with them. Not because the situation was unbearable, but because your expectations were. In ancient Rome, the Stoics trained their minds to expect hardship. Seneca once wrote, "He who suffers before it is necessary, suffers more than is necessary." But he also practiced something radical premeditatio malorum the premeditation of evils. He'd imagine every possible misfortune, poverty, betrayal, even death, not to invite them, but to disarm their power. You panic because you still believe things are supposed to go well. You suffer because you haven't rehearsed reality, not the filtered, curated version, the real one, unpredictable, uncaring, and often unjust. We live in a world that markets comfort as a right. Instant gratification, 2-day shipping, a world curated to keep us stimulated and satisfied. But the moment that illusion breaks, when you're ghosted, fired, rejected, or betrayed, it feels like the end. It's not. It's just the world finally being honest with you. So how do you stay calm when everything goes wrong? First, realize this. Emotions are echoes. They're not always the truth. Just because you feel something doesn't mean you have to obey it. Think of Viktor Frankl, psychologist, Holocaust survivor. He said, between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. Most people never live in that space. They react, they flinch, they spiral, but if you can find that pause, just a breath, you've already won. That's the beginning of calm. You don't need to be numb. You need to be aware. In Japanese culture, there's a concept called Fudoshin, an immovable mind. It's not about resisting emotion, but remaining centered in the midst of it. Imagine a candle in a windless room. That's the mind of someone who has mastered their response to the world. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people stay broken because it's easier. It's easier to complain than to confront. It's easier to react than reflect. And the world, in its loud chaos, will always offer you an excuse to stay shaken. But the calm ones, they move differently. They don't chase closure. They don't demand fairness. They simply choose not to be ruled. History gives us examples. Take Admiral James Stockdale. During the Vietnam War, he was tortured for 8 years. He said the key to survival was embracing the brutal facts without losing hope. He called it the Stockdale paradox. Confront reality, but never lose faith in the outcome. That paradox is your blueprint. Accept the worst, but never stop building the best. When everything goes wrong, the world wants you reactive, angry, outraged, addicted to emotional dopamine, but peace isn't a passive state. It's an active choice. You build it like a fortress, brick by brick, in silence, while everyone else is shouting. Look around. Most people are trained to panic. Every headline screams, every app buzzes, every feed bleeds anxiety. And yet, here you are watching this, not because you want noise, but because you want stillness. And that stillness, it costs. You'll lose people who mistake your calm for indifference, who think silence means surrender. Let them rage and run while you root yourself deeper. Psychologically, the ability to remain calm is tied to what researchers call high vagal tone. It's the nervous system's way of staying regulated. But beyond biology, calm is a mental practice. It's meditation. It's breath work. It's choosing to pause instead of post, to walk instead of war. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. The Buddhists speak of the second arrow. The first arrow is pain, it's inevitable, but the second arrow is your reaction to it. That's the one we shoot into ourselves. That's the one that leaves the deepest wound. When things go wrong, ask, what story am I telling myself right now? Am I interpreting this as a failure or a forge? Is this the end? Or is this where I begin again? Perspective is a weapon. Use it. Think of a storm. Everything gets tossed, shattered, drowned. But beneath the surface of the ocean, there's stillness. That's where you must live. Not at the surface, but below. Deep enough to remain untouched. You're not here to feel better. You're here to become better at feeling. And that means standing inside the fire without flinching. Not because you're invincible, but because you've learned that fire reveals what fear conceals. There will be days when your hands shake. Let them. Days when your voice cracks. Speak anyway. Being calm doesn't mean being cold. It means choosing clarity over chaos, and that choice. It's a rebellion against a world profiting from your panic, against a culture rewarding your outrage, against a system built to break your rhythm. So breathe, not because it solves everything, but because it reminds you, you're still here, and if you're here, you're still in control. Not of the world, but of yourself, and that's enough. The world won't slow down. Things will keep breaking. Plans will keep crumbling. People will keep disappointing. But you can remain solid, still. Steady because calm isn't found. It's forged. And the next time everything goes wrong, remember, you were built for this. Your ancestors survived famines, wars, plagues. You carry their resilience in your blood. Don't waste it on worry. Don't just survive the storm. Become the eye of it. If this message moved you, don't keep it to yourself. Like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs stillness in the chaos. And before you scroll away, take a moment. Ask yourself, what am I reacting to that I could simply release? Stay steady until next time.